Hey, it's Matcha coming at ya, and you're watching Steep Tea Gaming's freshly brewed review of Metal Hellsinger. Metal Hellsinger is a 3D shooter available on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series consoles. Feeling like the unholy love child of 2016's Doom and Crypt of the Necrodancer, Metal Hellsinger attempts to inject a healthy dose of satanic rhythm into the FPS genre. I played it here on Xbox Series S through Game Pass. In honor of how metal this game is, I have goat's blood instead of tea in my cup today. But don't worry, I won't drink it, I'm not some kind of weirdo, it's just here for dramatic effect. You play as a demon who has had her voice stolen. You must slay wave after wave of grotesque monsters in order to eventually get it back. All of this happens in hell. The story takes a backseat to the action, and I think that's the right decision here. Being interrupted by cutscenes would interrupt the flow states you find yourself in, and end up taking away from the experience rather than adding to it. That's not to say there aren't cutscenes here, there are, but they bookend the levels, which again is the right decision. The story isn't deep, but it is narrated well with a slick Southern American accent, and I did look forward to seeing how the story would conclude during this approximately 4-hour journey. This may not seem like a lot of game time, but this game is meant to be played and replayed, attempting to improve your current high score on the global leaderboard. I could see the elevator pitch for this game being Guitar Hero with guns. That's because even though you can shoot enemies however you like, if you time your gunshots to the beat successfully, the damage you inflict on them and points you earn increase by a long shot. Pun intended. When your tempo is perfect, and your score multiplier hits a certain milestone, layers of instrumentals and vocals are added into the sound mix. If you mess up your timing, the layers will disappear, almost like missing notes in Guitar Hero. There are power-ups that can be collected to increase your score multiplier, and a variety of weapons such as dual pistols, a shotgun, a skull that shoots out fireballs, and a sword. The game's Doom 2016 influences don't stop with the visuals, as Metal Hellsinger features a glory kill-esque mechanic called slaughtering, where after staggering an enemy with rhythmic attacks, they will begin to glow red, and you can perform a finishing move on them to regain some lost health. There are campaign levels and challenge levels. The campaign has you playing through 9 levels, earning new weapons and watching story cutscenes. The challenge levels see you entering an arena and defeating spawning enemies. There are different rules in each level, so you may need to defeat X amount of demons in X amount of time, or kill enemies while your weapons are constantly switching back and forth. This is a lot of fun and becomes a more arcade-like experience. The visuals are serviceable at best. The game takes place in hell, so the majority of the levels are gloomy, fiery environments with architecture that have seen much better days. This means the levels do start to blend together, and with the exception of a couple stages, I couldn't tell you what's visually different about them off the top of my head. If you are hoping for some truly disturbing demonic enemies, just know they are more R.L. Stine than Clive Barker. I would have loved the latter, but the former gets the job done. I did really like the design of the main character, but her movements did appear stiff in cutscenes. A game featuring music as a prominent component of the gameplay needs a great soundtrack, and Metal Hellsinger does not disappoint. Composed by Two Feathers, who worked on both Origami games, the soundtrack here is a metal slam dunk. Every song features a different vocalist from well-established metal bands. You have Matt Heafy from Trivium, Elisa White-Gluz from Arch Enemy, Serge Tankian from System of a Down, and Dennis Lyxzén. This guy from Refuse to Name a Few. If you aren't fond of heavy distorted guitars, aggressive screaming, and brutal drum beats, you may not be too fond of this soundtrack, but if you ask me, every track is steaming hot and fits the vibe of this game to a T. Pun intended. I forgot there was blood in there. The controls are very responsive. You're able to zip around each level effortlessly, which is a must for fast-paced shooters like this one. I did find the fact that pressing down the trigger to match your gunshots to the beat was fatiguing. This is because there are no automatic weapons and the travel the Xbox controller's triggers have. A mouse and keyboard would alleviate this issue, as well as enable increased accuracy with weapons. This means if you do have the choice, you may want to consider buying this game on PC, since it should give you the best experience. I had a ton of fun with Metal Hellsinger. Its visuals may not be on the same level as the game's killer soundtrack, but its addictive gameplay more than makes up for it. The controls are rock solid, and the visceral gunplay is invigorating. The soundtrack may not be everyone's cup of tea. I still taste the blood. But if what you saw here looks even a little bit like something you might be interested in, Metal Hellsinger just might be your next gaming obsession. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. And let me know what your all-time favorite metal band is down below. I'll make sure to write mine too.